Hello, and welcome back to Voice of Wisdom. Over the years, I've come to realize that keeping my home organized isn't as effortless as it used to be. There was a time when I could tidy up the entire house in a single morning and still have the energy to spare. But as time passes, every chore seems to demand a bit more from my body, and the clutter seems to return faster than before. But here's what I've learned: it's not about pushing yourself harder. It's about working smarter, with strategies that respect your energy and time. There have been moments when I felt a little alone in this journey. It's not always easy for others to understand why maintaining a clean and orderly home feels so important. For me, it's not about impressing anyone, it's about the calmness, clarity, and control it brings into my daily life. A tidy space makes everything else feel just a little more manageable. The truth is, at this point in life, I can't afford to spend every ounce of my energy scrubbing and tidying without a smarter system. After much trial, error, and reflection, I've discovered 7 simple strategies that have completely changed the way I care for my home. These methods aren't complicated or time-consuming, but they are incredibly effective. They allow me to keep my home presentable and peaceful without feeling exhausted or overwhelmed. If you've ever felt like cleaning is becoming an uphill battle, I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be. Today, I'm going to share these 7 practical strategies that have helped me, and I believe they can help you too. With these habits, you can maintain a beautiful, welcoming home while still preserving your energy and well-being. So stay with me until the end, because once you learn these simple shifts, you'll see that an organized, serene home is well within reach, no matter your age or energy level. Let's get started. The first strategy that completely changed the way I keep my house in order was learning how to get rid of the excess. For years, I accumulated objects, some with sentimental value, others simply out of habit. I was embarrassed to throw away things that could be useful one day, but the truth is that having too many things makes keeping order much more difficult. One day, I decided to make a change. I sat in my living room, looked at every corner, and asked myself, do I really need all this? I realized that there were furniture pieces that I barely used, decorations that only collected dust, and clothes that I hadn't worn in years. So I made a decision. If something didn't make me happy or had a clear use in my daily life, it had to go. To avoid overwhelming myself, I started with small spaces, like a drawer or closet. I separated things into 3 categories: those I was going to keep, those I could donate, and those that were no longer useful. I was surprised to see how many things could be useful to other people, so I gave away clothes, kitchen utensils, and even furniture that I no longer needed. The most incredible thing was the sense of relief I felt. With less stuff, cleaning became much easier and faster. I no longer had to move piles of objects every time I swept or cleaned a table. Now everything in my house has its place, and everything feels lighter. Since then, I do regular checks to prevent the clutter from accumulating again. I have learned that a tidy house does not mean having more things well arranged, but rather keeping only the essentials. If you want your home to stay impeccable without so much effort, start by eliminating what you no longer need. The second strategy that has helped me enormously to keep my house in order without excessive effort is to establish a daily routine. Before, I used to let the clutter build up until the chaos became overwhelming. I would then spend hours trying to clean everything at once, which would leave me exhausted and not wanting to do anything else. One day, I realized that the key was not to clean a lot at once, but to do a little every day. That's how I created a simple but effective routine based on small tasks that, added together, keep my home spotless without making me feel overwhelmed. In the morning, the first thing I do is make the bed. It may seem like a small detail, but it completely changes the look of the room and gives me a feeling of order from the start of the day. Then, while I wait for the water to heat up for my coffee, I take the opportunity to quickly clean the kitchen counter or clean up the dishes from the night before. After each meal, I wash the utensils immediately. I used to procrastinate, but I learned that 5 minutes of effort in the moment prevents accumulating dirty dishes that would take me half an hour to clean. I do the same with clothes. Instead of waiting for a mountain of dirty clothes to build up, I run a washing machine every 2 or 3 days as needed. At night, before going to bed, I spend 10 minutes going through the living room and kitchen, putting away any misplaced objects. It's not a deep clean, just a quick check to make sure everything is in place. With this routine, my house stays constantly in order, and I no longer have to deal with long days of cleaning. I have realized that spending a few minutes a day makes all the difference. The third strategy that has made a big difference in my life is assigning a place for everything. For years, my problem wasn't so much dirt, but clutter. I found objects out of place everywhere. Keys on the kitchen table, papers on the couch, shoes in any corner. This made my house always look disorganized, even though I cleaned it constantly. One day, I realized that the real problem was not that the house got dirty quickly, but that I didn't have a clear system for storing my things. So, I decided to change this and set fixed places for each object, making sure they were accessible and easy to remember. For the keys, I put a small hook near the door. For mail and important documents, I designated a tray on the dining room table. I created a special space for shoes near the entryway and placed baskets in the living room for magazines and remote controls. With these small changes, the clutter began to reduce drastically. The most important thing was to make this a habit. Every time I used something, I made sure to put it back right away. At first, I had a hard time remembering it, but over time, it became automatic. Now, instead of spending time searching for things or picking up clutter every day, my house stays in order with much less effort. This method has saved me time and energy and has made my home look more harmonious without requiring much effort. Having a fixed place for everything not only makes cleaning easier, but also gives me peace of mind. The fourth strategy that has made keeping my house tidy easier is cleaning as I go. I used to let tasks pile up, thinking I'd do it all at once later, but that later always ended up becoming a problem because what could have been a quick task turned into an exhausting cleanup. I found that it was easier and less burdensome to clean while doing other activities. For example, when I cook, instead of waiting for everything to be finished to clean, I wash the utensils I no longer need, wipe down the surfaces, and collect ingredients as I use them. This way, when the food is ready, the kitchen is practically clean. I also applied this in the bathroom. After I shower, I wipe down the surfaces and pick up anything out of place. It doesn't take me more than a minute, but it prevents soap and water stains from building up. I do the same in the bedroom. Every morning, as soon as I get up, I make the bed. It's not a difficult task, but it completely changes the look of the room. This method has transformed my routine. Instead of spending hours cleaning at the end of the day, I make constant small efforts that I barely notice. Now, my house is never in complete disarray because I'm always maintaining it with simple and quick gestures. By cleaning as I go, I've learned that I don't need to spend large blocks of time cleaning. I just have to take advantage of the moments of the day and do what is necessary at the right time. The fifth strategy that has changed the way I keep the house in order is dividing tasks into zones. Before, I would try to clean the entire house in a single day and end up completely exhausted. Not only did it take me hours, but the next day the disorder would reappear, and I would feel like I was never making any progress. It was then that I understood that instead of wanting to do everything at once, I had to organize myself better. I decided to divide my house into zones and dedicate myself to a different one each day. For example, on Mondays, I clean the kitchen. On Tuesdays, the bathroom. On Wednesdays, the living room. On Thursdays, the bedrooms. And on Fridays, I do a general review. By doing this, I no longer have to worry about cleaning everything at once. Every day, I make progress little by little, and my house is always kept in order without the need for long days of cleaning. This system has also allowed me to better distribute my energy. There are days when I feel more energized and can do a deeper clean, but on others, I just do the basics and know that the next day I will continue moving forward. This has taken a great weight off my shoulders and given me peace of mind because I know that each space has its moment and there is no need to rush. Since adopting this method, cleaning feels much more manageable. I no longer stress out thinking about everything I have to do because I know that each area will receive attention on its corresponding day. Now, my home stays tidy without exhausting me in the process. And best of all, I have more time for myself. The sixth strategy that has made house maintenance much easier for me is investing in appropriate tools and cleaning products. For years, I used the same old things: brooms that didn't collect dust well, rags that left lint, and products that seemed to spread dirt rather than clean. I didn't realize how much unnecessary effort I was putting in until I decided to try more efficient tools. The first big change was buying a lightweight vacuum cleaner. Before, sweeping took me a long time, and there was always dust in the air. With the vacuum cleaner, in a few minutes, the floor is spotless, and I don't need to make so much effort. I also switched from a traditional mop to a microfiber spray mop, which allows me to clean without carrying heavy buckets or getting my hands dirty with dirty water. Another big difference was made by the microfiber cloths. I realized that with them, I could clean surfaces with less effort and without leaving marks. I don't need to use as many chemicals anymore because these cloths remove dirt with just a little water. In addition, I discovered specific products for each area of the house, such as effective kitchen degreasers and bathroom cleaners that remove limescale without having to scrub too much. Investing in the right tools has been one of the best decisions I have made. Now, cleaning is faster and more effective, saving me energy and time. At this age, every effort counts, and having the right utensils makes everything easier. I don't get so tired or spend hours cleaning anymore because everything I use really makes my job easier. The seventh and final strategy, but perhaps the most important of all, is to prioritize what is essential and let go of the idea of perfection. For a long time, I thought that for my house to be truly clean, it had to be spotless at all times. I would spend hours cleaning every corner, worrying about every little stain. And at the end of the day, instead of feeling satisfied, I felt exhausted and frustrated. Over time, I learned that a tidy home doesn't mean everything has to be shiny and without a single speck of dust. The most important thing is that the space is functional and cozy, not perfect. Now, I focus on the essentials, that the kitchen is clean after each meal, that the bathroom is in pleasant condition, that the common spaces are clear, and that my bedroom is a comfortable place to rest. If one day I can't clean as much as I want, I don't punish myself for it. I know that the next day I will be able to resume it without a problem. I also understood that there are times when it is more important to rest or enjoy other things in life. It's not worth wearing myself out over details that no one else notices and that don't really affect my well-being. Since I changed my mentality, I feel freer. My house continues to be a reflection of care and order, but without cleaning being a constant burden. I enjoy my home more now. Instead of seeing it as an endless list of tasks, I have learned to find a balance, and that has been the key to keeping my house in order without sacrificing my peace of mind. Final thoughts. We've now reached the end of these 7 practical strategies that have truly reshaped the way I manage my home without draining my energy or leaving me feeling overwhelmed. These small but meaningful adjustments have allowed me to maintain a clean, calm, and welcoming space with far less effort than I ever thought possible. The biggest lesson I've learned through this journey is that keeping a tidy home isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. By building simple routines, clearing out the unnecessary, and most importantly, embracing the idea that a perfectly spotless house isn't the goal peace of mind, I've created a home environment that nurtures my well-being. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these strategies are you planning to try first? Have you already been using some of these habits in your own way? Share your experiences and ideas in the comments below. Your feedback not only encourages me, but it also inspires others in our community who are on the same path. If you found value in these tips, please take a moment to share this video with friends or family who could use a little extra support in simplifying their home care routines. Together, we can make the idea of maintaining a tidy, peaceful home less of a burden and more of a joy. Remember, it's not about striving for perfection. It's about creating a space where you feel comfortable, at ease, and truly at home. Start small, one habit at a time, and you'll soon see how those tiny changes lead to a more serene, organized living space. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe to Voice of Wisdom and tap the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming tips and inspirations. Give this video a like if it resonated with you, and share it with someone who's ready to simplify their home life. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. I'm looking forward to hearing about your progress. Until next time, take care and keep nurturing your space with kindness.